Good blessed this Sunday night, March the 27th, 2022. The time being about 7:55 p.m. I greet everyone, all human beings all around the world with a universal greetings of peace and the blessings of God be with you. It doesn't matter what your political, philosophical, personal, nor your religious beliefs may be. It doesn't matter whether you're the richest to the poorest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't even matter whether you're the proclaimed toughest to the proclaimed weakest person on the face of this earth. It doesn't matter if you're my family, friends, nor my proclaimed enemies. It doesn't matter if you're light-skinned or dark-skinned. It doesn't matter if you're young or old. It doesn't even matter whether you like me or anything that I say or anything that I stand for. I stand for justice for all. I stand for the uplifting of fallen humanity. I stand for the voices that's not being heard. Tonight, it's again about justice for my son, Brian Lamont Johns, who was found hung, lynched, dead on Friday, March the 19th, 2021 in the 400 block of Oakland Street in the Gaslights apartment on the third floor in the hallway. It's been 373 days since my son's death. And not one news outlet, not one newspaper, not one organization, civil rights organization, non-politician, has responded to my call asking for an independent investigation into my son's death. Because this here is what they call the Carbondale, Illinois Police Department in the Jackson County, Illinois Prosecuting Attorney's Office. This is my son's so-called death investigation files. This is the Freedom of Information Act. I got this before I got the Illinois State Police's. I got the Illinois State Police's results after they closed my son's case. When I say they, the Carbondale, Illinois Police Department in the Jackson County, Illinois Prosecuting Attorney's Office, which governs Carbondale, Illinois. If you look at this here, 90% of it is trying to show a method or a means to say my son committed suicide. Several times you will see when they watched it, they even have my YouTube videos in here. See, what they did was watch my YouTube videos, prosecuting attorney in the Carbondale Police Department, watch my YouTube videos. When they said one thing, I showed another. When they couldn't find certain things, I found it. But I want to show you something now. Why I'm talking about it again tonight, because 10 years ago, a young white female in Carbondale, Illinois, by the name of Molly Young, may she rest in peace, who the Carbondale Police Department in the Jackson County coroner originally said that she committed suicide, or she OD'd and committed suicide. But now on the death certificate, it said undetermined. And now, remember, this was 10 years ago. Today they had something in the park today. And I give it to the family, and there's no disrespect to the family. It's no even disrespect for the people that showed up. I would have came myself, but you know, I'm a part of Molly Young's dad's group, which is Justice for Molly Young. And I show support. And for a while, you know, I would put stuff on, and I understood him saying that, you know, the things that I was putting on concerning my son, I should get my own a page or group, and he'll refer people to me. I haven't had any people referred to me by him, but I do have my son's own group, which is called Justice for Brian. But you know, what I wanted to say is now, I didn't go today from Carbondale to here. I mean, from Charleston, Missouri to Carbondale, because I don't really get support from him myself, you know, because I had something concerning my son. But to each his own. People in his group has been giving me a lot of support. But today, it touched me because the news media, and then when you look at this video, you would see the news media was there. WSIL Channel 3, 10 years later now. My son has been a few days over a year in WSIL 3, the Southern newspaper, the Egyptian newspaper, which is ran by Southern Illinois University, SIU. Ain't none of them. I contact all of them, want none of them print my son's story in there or talk to me so I can show the indifference like Molly dad did. You see what I'm saying? But another thing that struck me is one of the Illinois senators at this remembrance, a 10-year remembrance of Molly's death. Terry Bryant, Bryant, Terri. Terry Bryant, a Illinois state senator, was there. She helped a few years ago sponsor a bill for justice for Molly, which ain't nothing wrong with that. But I wonder, can I get this same senator to help me have an independent or independent investigators? I asked for an independent investigators back in July of 2021 at City Hall, and I got it on video. Then me and my 16-year-old daughter spoke at City Hall in Carbondale, Illinois, again at their city council meeting, and we asked again for an independent investigator to investigate my son's case. But I couldn't get nobody. Now I give it to Molly's dad. You know, you get, and I'm gonna tell y'all straight up 100%, I believe it's racist because of why they won't investigate my sons. Number one, because he black. Number two, that he was homeless. Number three, he was on drugs. Number four, he was in prison before. You see what I'm saying? That's straight up discrimination. Now you got a senator there, y'all. You got the news people, and then you can see some of the photographers with their cameras. I done talked to just about all the southern newspaper reporters, and none of them won't hear my son's story. But I just want to show y'all this thing today in Carbondale, Illinois, 10 years later, how the Illinois state senator is there, and how the news people in the newspaper is there, but they won't give my son no recognition. They trying to hide my son's name because too many white people involved. A white female claims she found his wallet two days after he was dead, 4 or 5 blocks down the street from where his body was found hung. And a white female claims she found his t-shirts, his mask, and an axe he had before the police even found it, and took pictures of all of it. Another white female right around the corner from him on the 3rd floor in another part of the apartment building that's connected together. Another white female had his right down the street that works for the Carbondale, Illinois Rebound High School. And she's a parent educator. I believe it is. How could you teach anybody anything when you spending a dead man's food stamp card 39 days after his death? We seen yesterday the prosecuting attorney was speaking about Molly's death. And he spoke, and you look in the Southern newspaper, the Carbondale newspaper, and on the news, how he said families need to get justice. Families are victims. But he don't think my son and me and my family is victims because my son was black. Because my son, they said suicide at Molly's at first, but they changed it. There's too many political people involved. And then, I got to keep it real. A white person has got a better chance in getting their case from suicide to undetermined or to murder than a black person ever. And what's so other sad about it, we got a black NAACP down there that I filed with May the 11th, 2021 for discrimination against the Carbondale Police Department with their investigation. But you got to remember, these black females that's running this NAACP in Carbondale, Illinois, got these names on their titles on their thing, call themselves doctors. Some of their members of their church in their organization, the NAACP there in Carbondale, they on city council. So they work with the city. You think they going to go against the city? No, they ain't going to go against the city. Not only because they scared, because they get money. But I want to show y'all something. I want you to listen to this news thing and tell me what you think. And remember, I sent certified letters to the black Illinois State Attorney General. I sent one to his office in Carbondale, and I got the return thing saying somebody got it at the front desk at his office in Carbondale where my son was found lynched. I sent one to his office in Chicago where I grew up at. And I sent one to the Capitol, his office in the Capitol in Springfield. He's black, Rahul, or R-O-U-L. Do you know this black man or none of his staff members had even responded? I give it to Larry Young, Molly's daddy. They got this white Republican senator there. But you got a black Democrat. They just done Tammy Duckworth and Dick Durbin and Bobby Rush has sponsored a anti-lynching bill. You see what I'm saying? An anti-lynching bill, but you can't get this black Illinois State Attorney General that's a Democrat. You see, that's why I told y'all it don't make no difference of your color, your political or philosophical or personal belief, because, when I went up there, me and my daughters on March the 19th, 2022, just this year, for my son's year anniversary of being found lynched, it wasn't nothing but white people standing with me. So I ain't going to look at black and white when it comes to help. Here, I had strangers down there with me when I couldn't get other people. But listen to this. Look at this here. 10 years later. And my son get no coverage at all. Look at this. And there's no disrespect to her family or nobody.
10 years into an investigation surrounding a woman's death, family and friends gather to remember, honor, and pray for a resolution. Dozens joined the group Justice for Molly this afternoon for a memorial at Turley Park in Carbondale. Molly Young, was 21 years old when she was found dead in her ex-boyfriend's apartment with a gunshot wound to her head, initially reported as an overdose. The cause of her death remains undetermined to this day. Young's uncle, a retired Mount Vernon police officer, says the family will not rest until justice is served.
When enough evidence to gather is beyond the proof of a doubt, and an arrest is made and a trial is had, that can be done, and I believe it will be done.
One of the two Molly's laws.
State Senator Terry Bryant right there also spoke at the event today. She sponsored two House bills signed by Governor Bruce Rauner in 2016, which are known as Molly's Law. They strengthen Illinois Freedom of Information Act and extend the period of time for a family to file a wrongful death lawsuit.
Now, did y'all see that? Here it is, the senator, the Republican senator not only helped sponsor 2 bills, which I don't knock her, but I can't get no black politicians. I done contacted the NAACP in the state of Missouri. Me and my 2 daughters, 15 and 16, going on 16 and 17, are members of the NAACP. I done contacted one in Illinois. I didn't even contact the national chapter in Washington or Baltimore. But yet, nobody responded. I got a response from the state conference president of the NAACP here in the state of Missouri, only by email, not by phone, not by visit, but by email, saying that the information that I sent him, his office his volunteers couldn't get nowhere. So he said he sent it to the Illinois, I guess, state conference people in the FBI. But ain't nobody got with me yet. You see what I'm saying? But you see that senator? I give it to her. You see what I'm saying? I doubt if she'd have stood up for a black, but I give it to her that she there for Molly. Where is the black leaders in 2022 when a black man was hung in a suspicious manner? No shirts on, money balled up in his head, drugs in his socks, in the so-called coroner, the Jackson County coroner didn't do no examination of my son. He sent a deputy coroner named Sam Bryan, Bryan, that I don't see nothing that he did. He can't even tell, none of these reports, it don't say no estimated time of death. They just said the time of death, 1:35 p.m. How did you determine 1:35 p.m. when you didn't get there first, but the police and the paramedics got there, and the paramedics put the electropads on him, said he was not only cold, but there was no sign of life. Rigor mortis was already set in. You don't put no pads on nobody if rigor mortis set in. Maybe they teach EMTs and paramedics different now. I ain't never seen a heartbeat or anybody breathing that has rigor mortis in it. You don't have no life after that. You see what I'm saying? But this was at 1:27. So they knew he was dead then. At least an Indian student from SIU called it in. A white female claims she found his t-shirts, his mask, in his axe. T-shirts on in front of her door on the 3rd floor, mask on the 2nd floor, axe outside around the corner in the midst of winter. Another white female in the midst of winter just happened to find his wallet wrapped up. Then, why ain't the white school teacher and the black individual that call himself a Muslim who been praying on my son? He claimed he was my son's friend. But I ain't seen him at now march when we was talking about justice for my son. He connected with the prosecuting attorney. You see what I'm saying? He been to the penitentiary for 17 and a half years for murder and drugs, but they let him get away with, I guess, the drug side. And now he work hand in hand with the police, the prosecuting attorney, the NAACP, and some of these other crooked individuals. But why is it that they hide? What is they hiding about my son? They don't want it to be seen that some white person might have killed him. And then listen to this. How likely if you gonna find a person that's on drugs, that's homeless, with a belt with 3 characters on it, one of them definitely his. Now, check this out. and 2 other characters with DNA unknown. 2 different characters that's unknown. How many people that you know that a drug addict hang out with that ain't been fingerprinted before? You see, in this thing here, a day or so before my son's death, my son called 911 and I got the tape right in this here Freedom of Information Act. My son asked him, I called the 911 Carbondale police. Am I still on y'all payroll? Other people had told me that the police, Carbondale police, was using my son to set people up, taking advantage of his addiction on drugs and his homelessness. And they said the police, Guy Draper, give him money to snitch on people, and he kept the money. You see, Guy Draper is around too many places when my son's death and other things. I got videos. He always on the scene with something concerning my son and other people that's afraid to talk up. You see what I'm saying? My son didn't have too many black friends in Carbondale. You see what I'm saying? Because only a couple, I can count on one hand, that told me concerning my son, but they scared to come forward, which is understandable. But the police didn't do no just investigation. They talk to criminals out in the streets that snitches. What they do is they'll bust an individual with a bunch of drugs, let him go, but make him be a snitch so they can get other people. See, that one sergeant said something that let me know that Cole said he was doing an investigation. He let me know something about him. He told me, and don't even know nothing about me, unless he been following my YouTube. He said, your son idolized you. And I said, what you mean by that? You know, like your videos. This was early on when he took the case. My son had been dead 2 or 3 months. He had been dead 2 months. How you know about my YouTubes? Been making them since 2014. How you know about my YouTubes unless you and them racist white police just like the ones here in Charleston, Missouri? If you ain't racist, don't let it bother you. But see, I know y'all contact with the Charleston, Missouri Police Department and the Sheriff Department here in Mississippi County. But one thing about y'all, I'm just like David going up against Goliath. I'm just like Moses going up against Pharaoh. You see, y'all may be high in number, just like Pharaoh was. When Moses went and got those people and went across that Red Sea, what did he do? God drowned y'all away. Take a look at inventory of what's happening in Charleston, Missouri. He drowned them away. Some going to the cemetery, some going to the penitentiary, and some other people, their family being punished. Where's the black leaders at? Where's the black politicians at? I give it to the white folks. They take care of theirs. Peace be still.